But just to reassure you all, my wife and I are still happily married. I did see my wife there. I know that might be a shock to you all. I know I've come incredibly stealth tonight. When we've been doing rehearsals and practicing this, I was advised to perhaps lead into the lesbian a little bit more, because people might not realise, which is like the biggest compliment I think I've ever had. And I was wearing a glove for movies. So that was interesting. But yeah, I'm a lesbian. Gave a course 7 years ago, never really did like police put me. What I want to sort of share with you all tonight is my journey to marriage, because I think if we're all honest about marriage, it is really a journey for everyone, no matter how happy you feel you are in it. But my wife and I are very different. We met online, we met on Tinder, and one of the things that really sort of drew me towards at the time, she had a line on her profile which said, pretty normal, but with a few quirks. Just say that again then, pretty normal, but with a few quirks. And I didn't realise, I was sort of at the time, I was absolutely infatuated with this woman, and I had no idea that those quirks would eventually become absolute irritations, and I would spend the rest of my married life getting stressed about crumbs in the butter every single day. But yeah, we all very different. I would say that my wife is middle class, and one of the things that I've really struggled with in marriage is that I might well have to accept that that might be who I am and where I'm headed. And I'm not middle class, I'm from the northeast of England, you know, I guess, and I can tell you a lot about the northeast of England, but I think everybody knows that when you think of the northeast, you think of Greggs going in. And that's me, that's my background. I'm a great girl, I'm a pasty girl, and my wife's, you know, she's really posh, she's really educated, and we're very different in that respect. But we live now in a nice area of Birmingham, they're awesome. And it's an area like that, a cargo driver and burglars know really well. And yes, we're different. And she's actually really clever, my wife, so we're both medical. I'm a paramedic and she's a doctor. And it's exam season at the minute, isn't it? I don't know. Is anybody doing exams at the minute? Anybody being sort of stressed about? Yeah. It's really stressful, isn't it? Yeah. But I think one of the things that I'd like to give you a bit of wisdom from me is that I've never applied myself to anything in life. But I am an example, sitting out before you today, that with enough charm, wit, and charisma, you absolutely can track your way to the top. And yeah, I think that's what I suggest, sort of, if you're anything like me, I'll keep you straight in my mind. I would recommend, if you're going to marry a doctor, you marry yourself an area doctor. And that for you, Leslie, is a joke about choking, but I think you probably knew that. But just before I go, I'll tell you a quick story about why I've been struggling with this middle class thing. One of the things that I still notice about me, even though I'm obviously very posh now, people still approach me. I've got one of those faces, and if you've got one, you know exactly what that means. Wherever you are, you know, the village talker will come and try and speak to you. And I'm one of those people. So I'll tell you a little story. I was sat on the floozy the other day, on the floozy in the jacuzzi, and here he comes, Mr. Hawker, I can sort of see him coming from the distance. And he came over, and I knew that we were going to be, you know, engaged for quite a while. So there he goes, and he starts, and sort of within minutes, I've got his whole life story and his sister's middle name. We've done a little bit of an examination of his school animal, and I know about his name, which is waiting for an hour. And he asked me a simple question this time, and I'm starting to think, you know, oh, well, I want to try and relax, I was trying to sit in the sun. So I'm doing a few hints of, like, you know, maybe you should move. So I give him a little bit of like, what are you doing for the rest of the day? Where are you heading next? And I didn't really pick up on any of that. So we sort of just fall into a bit of a silence. It's a bit of a lull, and Adrian comes in for a word. He looks at me, and looks at him, gives a little